So welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about how to create a content plan, okay? A content plan that gets good engagement, a content plan that gets you new followers, and a content plan that builds your audience into people that are potentially going to buy from you. So I'm going to walk through where you should put your content, how often, what kind of content you should put out, and then we're going to give you a free gift at the end that's going to help you actually plan this out properly, all right? So make sure you stay to the end of the video. Right, so how much to post and what platforms to post on. Now, if you're going to decide on which platform to post on, I would always recommend that you find out where your potential clients are. Mostly nowadays at the filming of this video, a large percentage of people across all kind of age demographics use Instagram. And actually, I would have probably argued with you on this a couple of years ago about TikTok, but TikTok has grown into a multi-age platform. I think the average age of people are, what's the average age on TikTok now? 14 to 65-year-old TikTokers. It is much more mainstream. It used to be quite a young platform, but Simon did give me a good statistic a few months ago that was saying like the average age of a TikTok audience now is like in its 30s. And there's lots of like business and health and entrepreneurship kind of people on TikTok that are dragging people over to the platform. Okay, so Instagram and TikTok are more than likely where you're going to base a lot of your content. Facebook, potentially, but if you're kind of under the age of 35, probably not. You probably won't even use Facebook that much. That's a little bit later down the line. Okay, so short form content is going to go on Instagram and on TikTok. Now, for frequency, it depends on the time you've got available. I think the days of being able to post 3 times a week are gone, to be honest. If you post 3 times a week, you're probably going to get forgotten about and you'll just get lost in a sea of people. We found with our clients, the very best results come from the people who post the most. And when I say post the most, I don't mean posting every day. I mean posting 2 to 3 times a day consistently, okay, across both TikTok and Instagram. There's a couple of reasons for that. One of the main things is just that the way the algorithm works, they're kind of pointing towards like picking up videos and taking them viral. It's quite hard to like find a solution that makes that happen. So the more videos you put out, the more likely a couple of the videos are going to kind of go off. And it can come down to anything from like the first 3 seconds of the video to the topic of the video to the music you've used on the video. So as long as you've got a good content plan, it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, because back in the day, you would spend ages and ages and ages like making everything perfect. Nowadays, you're actually best off getting things to pretty good and then going for volume. So if you're one of those people that kind of, tinkers around for perfection, you're going to have to change that, and you're going to have to start moving into just getting stuff out as soon as it's possible, as soon as it's viable, get it out there and just do more and more and more and more. Another benefit of that is that content making is a skill, all right? And like any skill, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. The more you film videos, the more comfortable you're going to get on camera. It all kind of lends into itself. So again, for us, volume is one of those things that we think is very, very important. I think at least 5 days a week, Monday to Friday at the very, very bare minimum. But you can go anywhere from 14 posts to even 21 posts a week across platforms. Again, you're going to have to take your time constraints into consideration. But I think the best bang for your buck I've found is doing 2 posts a day, if I'm truly honest. Maybe 1 post that's a short form post like we'll speak about, and then 1 post that's a little bit more like about your program or a little bit more salesy. And that'll bring us on to the next kind of point that we've got to make, which is kind of what things to post. Okay, so when you come to think about what to post, you kind of want to break your content down into 3 separate sections, okay? You want to break it down into engagement content, so content that's going to be shared, content that's going to bring new followers in, content that's going to speak to quite a broad audience. And that content is going to be probably the more entertaining content. That's the one that's going to grab people's attention. That's the one that's going to grab people's eyes. That's the one that's going to get people to hit that follow button. Okay. So this is things like recipes, workout hacks, like little quick tips. Bet you've never seen this before. I was this age when I figured this thing out. All of those little videos that are going to grab attention. They're usually quite short as well. All right, are going to allow your profile to start building momentum. Now, if you just focus on that, your audience will grow, but your customer list probably won't. And that's because the next step that we've got to do is we've got to start delivering value to our audience, okay? Or else You know, influencers do a great job of capturing attention, but we need to take it a step further and we need to turn this attention into potential customers. And that's going to come from your value-based posting. So that is things like savable workouts. That's things like meal hacks. That's things like tutorials on how to do like maybe things in the kitchen, or how to weigh yourself correctly, or how to, you know, do a specific exercise, or how to handle X scenario or Y scenario that your clients struggle with. This is the kind of deeper stuff. You can also use this kind of content to start passing out like resources and information. So you can say, look, I've got this thing. This is what it helps my clients do. Send me a message and I'll send you the PDF or video or whatever it is. Okay, so that's the next step. So you've got to have equal parts of engagement and attention grabbing, and you've got to have equal parts of like delivering value and actually kind of helping people solve their problems. Because if you can't help people solve a problem, or they don't think you can help them solve a problem, then you're going to have lots of fans, but potentially not lots of buyers. The final thing you want to have is proof of your work, proof of what your program does, proof of concept of what you say that you do. That can be anything from testimonials to before and after pictures, to screenshots of client feedback, to you showing specific parts of your program, you know, that people may want to see, that's a little bit special about it, that helps them overcome certain issues. And again, this is important to litter throughout the week, because that's going to really kind of help the people at the buy-in end of the process kind of think, right, I like what he says. I'm interested in the content. I find it very helpful. That program looks like something that'll help me. Right, I'm ready to have a conversation about joining. All right, so you need to kind of have that pipeline going on. Now, you will notice a stark difference in engagement between those three posts. So your engaging stuff, your attention-based stuff is going to be based around getting likes, getting comments, and having it shared. So they're probably going to be the ones that have the largest like visible engagement. You're going to feel like those posts pop off out of the three kind of phases. They're the ones that are going to get the most engagement. Okay, your value-based stuff, you really want to be targeting saves. You want people to hit that save button, and don't feel bad about telling them to hit that save button, because it's going to benefit them. I hit the save button all the time. I don't particularly know where the saved post feature is on Instagram. I always forget, but I do hit save, planning to come back to it later, and I just never do. So that kind of content is going to be quite savable. It's going to be stuff that you're going to be able to generate questions from your audience about, because they're probably going to want to know more or about their specific situation. Okay, so kind of conversations off the back of it and saves are going to be the thing that you want out of that value-based content. And your social proof content, you want people to book calls. That's the whole point of that piece of content. It will get dog shit engagement. It's not going to get loads of likes. We have people that have come into our program, started at 0, made 25 grand a month, and about 7 people have liked it. But we've also had 6 or 7 calls booked off the back of that post, because people don't want to like it. They want to find out how they can get involved in it. You need to think about your content strategy as needing to meet those 3 criteria. You want kind of likes and engagement and all the fun stuff that people like, gets that dopamine hit on Instagram. And people chase that a lot. And if you only chase that, you'll grow a profile, but you probably won't make many sales. You want to be getting lots of saves on your content, because that's showing that your content is helpful and people are seeing it as helpful and are coming back to it to learn. And then you want to get people either reaching out to you or responding to calls to actions, or responding to polls about certain things that is based around your social proof. So those are the 3 kind of posts that you want to do. And those are the kind of things that you are looking for in that profile. Now, for me, the way that we do it is we tend to have, and again, this is at a bigger scale than you, so I'm going to scale it back a little bit, all right? If I was going to do a content plan and I was going to post twice a day, I would post once a day for engagement. Once a day would be my short, sharp, I want new eyes, I want people to find it, you know, entertaining, I want people to follow me, I would do that. And then the other kind of 5 to 7 posts that I would do would be based between the value and the social proof, okay? Because realistically, this whole thing works as a funnel. So we want to get the most amount of people in the top of the funnel, and your engaging post, your like attention style content is going to fill the top of that funnel. And we need to keep the top of that funnel full. If we don't, then things are going to start getting a little bit slow with our lead generation, a little bit slow with our sales. The middle of the funnel is the value-based content. So the stuff that's helpful, the stuff that shows you, you know, your knowledge off in a little bit more depth, the stuff that, you know, people will save. That's the middle of the funnel. And that's turning people from like attention into people who are potential customers. Okay. And then the very bottom bit of it, which will then need the least amount of posts out of the three, is the social proof content. Once or twice a week, really, really good social proof can make a massive difference with your business. So don't feel the need to get it out every single day. You are going to post more engagement stuff than you are social proof. And I would think it works as like a funnel, me personally. So most engagement, the second most, like the middle ground, is going to be your value content. And then the final bit, the smallest bit, but still as equally as important, is your social proof. And that's how you create a buying funnel from your content. Now, here's my thoughts on the process. Not everybody's going to see everything. So if you only use it that way, then people are going to miss stuff. My way of thinking about it this way is your engagement content, you put it out on your feed, everyone's going to see it. That's going to drag new people in. Even if you only post engagement content on your feed, then your stories should be full of value and your stories should be full of social proof. Because realistically, no one's outside. I look at the insights from my audience massively. It's only a very, very tiny percentage of people who view my stories who don't follow me. The vast majority of people who view my stories are followers. And the way I view them is that they're people who like my content, they engage with my content, but they're also people who watch what I do on a daily basis. Therefore, they're further down the pipeline. And the things I need to be giving people further down the pipeline is value and social proof to turn them into customers. So my stories and the way that I do things shows like a lot of our content that you'll see on our feed is mostly engagement. It's mostly look at me, follow me. It's entertaining, it's snappy, it's short. It's there to grab attention. But then if you look at the stories are when I explain a little bit more about concepts, because it's not going to perform well on Instagram. For me personally, it doesn't. Anything quite long and quite drawn out isn't going to perform well. But I can do it on a story and I can show really good social proof day after day on my stories as well. And that's only going to people who are already invested, in my profile, which means that it's going to the right place and it's not putting anyone off. So that's kind of an idea of, how much to post, where to post it, and the kind of content you should post. And then we're going to come on to like ideas of what to post. So coming up with content ideas. I personally think if you are struggling for content ideas, you're probably working with the wrong audience. If you are going to be a good coach, you should be able to be a good marketer. You might feel a little bit weird about it. It might not be the most natural thing for you to jump on video, and it might not be the most natural thing to jump on a video camera and start talking about it, but you are a coach. So if you are a top quality coach, you should understand your clients' problems like the back of your hand. You should have solutions for all of these things. You should know what they struggle with potentially already before they do. You should know when you see a client and they're like, right, I work in an office, I have a family, I do this, I do that. In your head, as a coach, you should be going, right, these are the major problems that this client's going to have. That should be the basis of your content, okay? So if you're struggling for content, it's potentially because you're not actually a very good coach. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's more than likely what I see is the coaches struggle for content are kind of the coaches that aren't the greatest coaches. The coaches that come up with great content ideas know their target market like better than anyone else. They probably know the target market better than they know themselves. So when they come up with ideas, their audience go, holy, I never even thought of that. It's because they know, because that's what makes a good coach. A good coach knows what the issues are. So that should be your main bulk, to be honest with you. What I like to do is I like to write out the 3 or 4 main concerns of my audience, or the main things. So like for us, it's like being able to generate leads, being able to make sales, being able to, get good client results and deliver a good program and get good client retention. And it's about kind of managing the finances of the business and managing the lifestyle. So I could just write those 4 things as categories and then just write down a load of problems that people have with them. And generally, like, me and Sai plan my content out in like fucking 15 minutes, and we do like a month's worth of videos in a couple of hours, because I've lived this life. I've been a personal trainer that's struggling. I know exactly what people struggle with. So you should really think about that when you come to plan your content. If you are still really struggling, okay, talk to people. Talk to people on the gym floor if you're a gym floor person. Talk to people online. Get in conversations, because people are going to tell you what their issues are and people are going to handle the objections. Your sales calls will be one of your biggest factors in being able to write good content, because every single week you will get the current problems that your audience are having and why they can't jump on a program. And if you answer that within your content, that gives you a really good level of authority. But realistically, you don't need to make it too hard. Write down the main concerns of your audience. If it's nutrition, if it's managing their schedule, if it's, you know, they have relationship issues with food, etc. I'm trying to not just make it like basic fat loss, right? But say it's like relationship with food issues, it's emotional eating, and it's managing a family. Those are the 3 concerns of your audience. Cool. They're your headings. Write down all the kind of sub problems from that. And I guarantee you'll probably get like 3 months worth of content out there in about, I don't know, half an hour's worth of planning. And then all you need to do is just make the relevant videos for that. One other thing that you can potentially do, and this is more for the engagement style content, okay? Look at things that are performing extremely well on TikTok, like search relevant hashtags, like search like the top content creators in your niche. There's nothing wrong with you kind of semi-recreating a video that they've done. If it's their original idea, then fair, you know, don't like steal someone's like actual advice to people. But a lot of the stuff that pops off on TikTok that gets massive engagement is actually more like acting-based stuff, or like it's a bit quirky. It's like, you know, it's stuff that lots of people replicate and lots of people do their own take on. But because we found that format works really well and that kind of video works really well, and those things are already going viral, you've got the chance of doing that as well. So if you're really, really stuck, especially for the engagement, the more entertaining style content, look what's performing really, really well and just put your own twist on it for your clients. And that generally is a good idea of how to get videos that get massive and massive views. To just jump on TikTok and just look at what other people are doing, because that's all they do. They just check the existing trends and the things that are going. And that's why you'll see, you know, 9 or 10 videos that look near enough the same with different people in it and maybe with slightly different twists. It's because they know it's working at that point, so they just run with it. And that's how people grow massive accounts very quickly. And the final thing that comes to it is just how to film all of this, all right? How to get it done. Now, for me, your iPhone camera is probably one of the best tools that you'll ever have. Quick tips that Simon gave me when I started doing mine. Obviously, Simon just comes and does mine for me now. But if I was to go broke tomorrow and I had to do it myself, it would be tripod, lighting, and get a mic. Okay, those are going to be probably your 3 biggest allies in making really sharp content. And we've got clients that make really professional looking content with an iPhone, a decent ring light, and a fucking Rode mic attached to the lapel. You'd be surprised what a camera can do now. Quick tip with the phone camera, make sure you use the camera on the back rather than the camera on the front. The selfie camera is a little bit weird, and also it's always smudged. Simon also told me to remind you to clean your fucking camera because you probably got dirty pockets and you don't want to film 19 videos for your content and realize there's a fucking chocolate smudge on the front of your camera and no one can see shit. It looks like it's muddy water. So that would be my advice for that. Now, I've just like rapid fired a load of fucking advice for you about content, okay? But I have something for you. If you click the link below underneath the video, we've got a brand new resource that's just come out, which is a kind of, I was going to say amalgamation then, but I didn't want to seem like I'm too posh. So it's a combination of all the little bits of things that over the course of these videos you've seen me talk about and you've seen me speak about, and I've said, look, you're going to get this and you're going to get that, and we're going to give you this. We've compiled it all to one area because you lot are rabid for getting these things on time. Like, fuck me, we posted a video and if like the link isn't there in a second, I was like, where's the link? So the link's already done. I've already made it all for you. It's finished. All right, link below. Put your information in. You're going to get access to our business builder that has sections specifically on building an offer, on writing content, on generating leads, and on making sales. So you've got everything you need there. It's all in one place. Just click the link below and you can get access to all that. Okay, thank you very much. We've got a couple more videos coming out to finish this 0 to 5K series. So make sure that you notify yourself with the bell on the top and the subscribe button on the bottom. It's been a week since I've done one of these. I'm pretty sure it's that way around. And I will see you next time.